This is Joel Berg, CEO of Hunger Free America. I have an urgent request for you today. It'll take just 5 minutes, but you can help prevent the biggest cuts in domestic food assistance in American history. Last night, in the dead of night, the Republican majority on the U.S. House of Representatives Agriculture Committee voted to enact $300 billion. $300 billion, that's billion with a B, in cuts to domestic food assistance. They'd be taking away food from children, working parents, seniors, veterans, and people with disabilities. These cuts are immoral, cruel, counterproductive. They'll increase hunger and wreck our economy. In fact, if all these cuts are enacted, it would be the greatest hunger crisis in America since the Great Depression. This bill's also going to take health care away from millions of Americans, cut $880 billion in health care spending. And if all that wasn't bad enough, it's going to actually add to the deficit by $2.5 trillion. So how can it be they're slashing food and health care away from the most vulnerable Americans and still adding to the deficit? It's because all that money is going to go for more tax cuts for billionaires. That's just the reality. Now, let me be clear. Hunger Free America is by law and by practice a nonpartisan organization. We don't take sides in campaigns. And if Democrats don't always do the right thing to fight hunger, we hold them accountable too. But let's be clear. This latest move is by the Republicans in Congress, and the Democrats in Congress have universally opposed it. Last night in the Agriculture Committee, every Republican on the committee voted for these cuts. Every Democrat on the committee voted against these cuts. And in fact, they had dozens of amendments, some of which were very moderate amendments proposed by the Democrats to merely study the issue before implementing these cuts. And every single Democrat on the committee voted for those amendments, and every single Republican voted against those amendments. What would the cuts do? Number one, it would prevent the ability of USDA to increase food aid allotments when food prices go up. That's basic common sense. Why wouldn't you want to be able to do that? Two, it would impose for the first time in American history benefit costs on states. Right now, benefit costs for this food aid is covered entirely by the federal government. And what would happen in real life? Either states would cut food assistance or they would have to raise state taxes to pay for such food assistance. Three, the Republicans have a lot of rhetoric about increasing work and making sure every able-bodied person works, but that's not what this is doing. It's increasing work requirements to people up to age 64. So imagine you're a steel worker and you've been working in the mill for decades, and you lose your job at 63, and unfortunately, because of age discrimination, no one's going to hire you for another job. If you can't get a job in 3 months under this Republican proposal, you will lose food. It also says for the first time there will be extra work requirements of parents with children as young as 7. And that sounds good. Everyone should work. But what this means is parents would be forced to leave a 7-year-old at home when school's out, either if school ends in the afternoon and they're working until 5, or during holidays or summer. So forcing parents to leave a 7-year-old at home or lose food assistance for the family, including the kid. Now, they're claiming, this bill's taking away SNAP from undocumented immigrants, who they call illegal aliens. Well, there's no way to put it, but that's just a lie. Never in American history have undocumented immigrants been eligible for SNAP. And today, undocumented immigrants don't get SNAP. So claiming that that's what this bill's about and implying those cuts are really taking away food from those immigrants just isn't true. And despite their claims that one of their top priorities is to make America healthy again, this bill entirely eliminates, not just cuts, but entirely eliminates the SNAP nutrition education program. That's a program usually run by state land-grant universities, sometimes in conjunction with nonprofit groups, to help low-income Americans learn how they can take actions on their own to increase the healthfulness of their diet and reduce diet-related diseases. This is all nuts. It's cruel, it's immoral, it violates every ethical and religious tradition on the planet. It will kill our economy. Hundreds of thousands of retailers rely on SNAP income. This will hurt farmers, food processors, trucking companies, food wholesalers, and retailers. So here's what you need to do. Just take 5 minutes and do this. Just make 3 calls, please, 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 and do this today. You can use the same phone number, the Capital Switchboard, 202-224-3121. That's 202-224-3121. First, call your first United States senator. Tell them to oppose these cuts to pay for tax cuts for billionaires. Then call your second United States senator with the same message, and then call your one member of the U.S. House of Representatives. If you don't know who they are, you can Google it, put in your address and zip code, and you'll learn who those representatives are. Also, if you can afford to donate to Hunger Free America, go to our website at hungerfreeamerica.org and do so. We need help to be able to support our efforts in this fight. But if you need food, you can also find out from our website, how to get it. So go to hungerfreeamerica.org to give help or get help, and call 202-224-3121 to tell your senators, to tell your congressperson, do not cut food assistance. Do not put people's lives on the line to pay for tax cuts for billionaires. I thank you in advance for your help.